The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate it all. Guy Maurice Sagna has done it again. The outspoken Senegalese member of parliament recently took the floor and he did not hold back. In a firing parliamentary session, Sagna launched a multi-front assault targeting French neocolonialism, deep-seated institutional corruption within Ecowas, and severe administrative failures affecting everyday African workers, both at home and in the diaspora. This is not just another political speech. This is a frontline narrative of a changing West Africa, one where the old guard is being publicly called out and regional institutions are facing a massive crisis of legitimacy. Let's unpack exactly what Sagna said, why his critique of Senegalese new leadership matters, and the explosive allegations of corruption he leveled against Ecowas. Sagna began his speech by addressing French President Emmanuel Macron, taking direct aim at France's ongoing geopolitical posture toward the alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso.
Mr. Macron, there is nothing he forgot to say against the countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. While our president of the republic was there, he should not have accepted that. Who does Macron think he is to insult our brothers, our neighbors, and in front of our presidents of the republic? Our president of the republic should have told him, stop it. We can say things to each other as Africans, but we must not. We must not accept that a president from outside Africa speaks ill and often untruths, against neighbors, against our African brothers and sisters. Everyone knows that in Nairobi, during the Africa Forward Summit, it was a marketing operation, it was a rebranding.
Whose objective for French imperialism was and to change the perception
that certain peoples on planet Earth, including African peoples, the way they look towards this French imperialism. Mr. Minister, we can play football or kick the same ball with several million French citizens, but I don't think that the President of the Republic, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, should have with other African presidents kick the same ball as Emmanuel Macron. It may be something trivial. But we never trivialize imperialism. We never trivialize neocolonialism. Mr. Minister, it is imperialism that enslaved millions of Africans. It is imperialism that colonized millions of Africans. It is imperialism that has killed more than 73,000 Palestinians, including more than 20,000 children between 2023 and now. It is imperialism that Mr. Minister Chenian illegally kidnapped the Venezuelan president. It is imperialism that has illegally imposed a blockade for more than half a century on Cuba. So, our country, our president of the republic, cannot be used for a rebranding operation of French imperialism. In the same way that I wrote to the government to say, our government, tell our athletes, tell our national team to refuse to be a plaything in the hands of the French embassy that seeks to change the way our people view it. In the same way, the first of the Senegalese, the President of the Republic, cannot allow himself to do that.
But the most serious thing, Mr. Minister, is that
our President of the Republic, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, in my opinion, should not have been at this summit because everyone knows it is a France-Africa summit. All right, it is the Franco-African imperialism that refuses to die, but he should not accept being somewhere where other presidents of the Republic are criticized. Mr. Macron, there is nothing he forgot to say against the countries of Burkina, Mali, and Niger. While our president of the republic was there, he should not have accepted that. Who does Macron think he is to insult our brothers, our neighbors, and in front of our presidents of the republic? Our president of the republic should have told him stop, should have told him stop it. We can say things to each other as Africans, but we must not. We must not accept that a president from outside Africa speaks ill and often untruths, against neighbors, against our African brothers and sisters.
Mr. Minister, what I wanted to add after that, c'est que, do you know, Mr. Minister, because you attend but regularly, at committee meetings, from the CEDAW, and our President of the Republic as head of state, attends meetings with his fathers. That's why I take the liberty to say it here. Do you know that CEDAW has existed for 50 years? The CEDAW has never transmitted to the people of the CDA member countries the reports of the annual CEDAW institutions and agencies. Do you know that for 25 years that the CEDAW Parliament exists, this Parliament has never received the annual reports of CEDAW institutions and agencies? Mr. Minister, you know what it means? I'll tell you what I think. This means that at the level of the CDA Commission, there are people who steal money from African peoples. There are people who divert money from African peoples. There are people who make clientelistic recruitments. And of course, the audit reports will point the finger at this. That is why the reports of said are not transmitted to the Mr. Minister seeking to the parliamentarian. And this has to stop. Senegal cannot support this. Senegal, which contributes, other countries contribute, and these contributions, these are the taxes of African peoples to operate the CEDAW, and for 25 years, we have not given a report of said. In Parliament, it is the same. We must stop this. Mr. Cherignon Minister, I would like to know, where is the status of the humanitarian move, in yellow? The center. Thank you very much, Fatih Job. The National Mine Action Center in Senegal has regularly money problems. These workers sometimes run behind 2-4 months back in salary. Unfortunately, the minister seeking this cannot continue. I would like to know where we stand, where the move is. What is the situation of workers? Does this situation, budgetary and financial aspects have been resolved? You then understand why I say that it is necessary to frame political funds. Because yes, we can't have workers in charge of demining, Casamance, and who run behind 5 months, 6 months behind in salary, and I can give more examples. I think you understand that, and you will make it clear to the President of the Republic, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, Mr. Minister, Holland, Netherlands. Mr. Minister, It must have lasted 15 days. It was not available.
Sagna criticized Macron for constantly attacking these three nations. But his hardest critique was actually reserved for Senegalese own newly elected president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Sagna argued that President Faye was present during these diplomatic interactions and passively allowed Macron to insult Senegal's neighbors. Sagna asked a fundamental question. Who does Macron think he is to insult our brothers and neighbors in front of our own heads of state? Sagna argued that Senegal's leadership should have firmly told Macron to stop. He explained that while African nations can have internal disagreements among themselves, they must never tolerate an external power speaking untruth and disrespecting African sovereignty. This signals a growing rift between the Pan-African street, which demands total break from Western influence, and the pragmatic diplomacy practiced by newly elected leaders. Sagna then shifted his focus to Ecowas, known as CDO in the Francophone world. He delivered an absolute indictment of the regional bloc's financial transparency. According to Sagna, Ecowas has existed for 50 years, yet it has never transmitted its annual audit reports to citizens of its member states. Furthermore, he claimed that the Ecowas Parliament has existed for 25 years, and in all the time, the Parliament itself has never received these annual audit reports. Sagna did not mince words about what this lack of transparency means. He openly stated that within the Ecowas Commission, individuals are embezzling and stealing the financial contributions of the African people. He accused the bloc of running on clientelism and nepotism, arguing that the audit reports are internationally hidden because they would immediately expose this corruption. Sagna reminded the chamber that Ecowas is funded by the taxes of West African citizens, and using those funds without legislative oversight is entirely unacceptable. Sagna has been vocal, and each time he gets a chance, he exposes everything. No accountability, no transparency, and no wonder the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to move away, because our only oath made it clear that this organization called Ecowas does not serve the interests of the members. And the same contribution we give are to, like one time, the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, said, we are seeing this rising coups because there is lack of accountability. And we, the youth of today, lost trust in democratic leaders. That is exactly what Sagna has just pointed out. And when it comes to the leaders who sat down for Macron to talk to our leaders, and we're all clapping when he said they isolated themselves from ECOWAS, And they are facing what they are facing because France is no longer there. And he was expecting the Senegalese president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who came on the ticket of Pan-Africanism, to say something. But no, they all decided to keep quiet. And this is why Africa, it will be difficult for us to conquer the people who are always chasing us. When we need to act in unity to protect ourselves, we always divide ourselves. Like some of the leaders said, we should always understand that as Africans, every nation carries its interests. And that was said by the president of Botswana, Duma Boko. So, if we continue to be pushing the interests of our individual nations, how then do we unite to fight for that Africa we are looking for? And that is why we are asking that division among us should end by us having just a leader who will lead and take control over the affairs of Africa. And that should only happen when we have true leaders serving the interests of the people and not protecting borders like the Ecowas chairperson Julius Maada Bio put it. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa, West Africa, and in Senegal.